Welcome. Sorry for the pause there at the beginning, but welcome. This is the Debrief episode 30. This is Monaco, and welcome. I'm going to bring in my co-keys, my partner in crime, TOTO Hammer.
Yeah, big up,
Big up,
man.
TOTO. How's it going? We're finally doing it. This is the final one before we're back on target again. So, the Monaco Grand Prix. Before we start getting to the Monaco Grand Prix, start talking about it, just a bit of debrief here and there about strategy. Let's face it, when it comes to Monaco, there's only one strategy.
Mm.
Make sure you get on pole. Simple. So this is Tulsa Hammer. How you doing, bro?
No, doing feeling well, feeling all right. Yeah, that's all really.
That's it. Very simple, very easy. So Monaco Grand Prix. I know it's not one of your favorite Grand Prix. I think it's probably the worst one of the calendar. We can actually we can actually say that. I do not like Monaco. If you go back and watch all my videos from 7 or 8 years ago, I've despised this track. I think the track is outdated. The rumors were they was going to try and alter it a little bit in certain sectors of the track, and it didn't work out. They might be still doing it, but it is what it is. Um, the Grand Prix, for me, the right man won. Let's go straight into it. I think the right man won. Charles Leclerc. He's qualified 3 times here on pole. Um, he's had a couple of DNFs over the years as well. He's the first Monegascan since 100 years to win this track, to win this Grand Prix, Monaco. And I'm happy for him. I think the right man won. If anyone I could have wished to win, it was him. Even over Lewis, even over Alonso. It was good. It was nice that he got this win for him and his family. And he dedicated to his dad as well. He's remember he lost his father a few years ago because his dad helped him get to Formula One. All the sacrifices, his family. He kind of teared up as well when I watched the interview. He was kind of tearing up a bit, which is understandable. This is Monaco Grand Prix. This is his home track, and he's never won it before. And so, yeah, what do you think of it overall?
So I think the race, the only way we can get any sort of entertainment, you can't really get entertainment out of this track, but any sort of little bit of entertainment is the pit stops because the teams have to get it right in the pit stops just to see where they end up in the race. Soon as the Perez incident in the first lap, and then everyone pitted in for new tyres. For hard tyres, the ones you started on mediums went to the hards. I think they were the ones that usually got the best track position. Of course, you got ones that start on the hards and went on the medium towards the end, but that weren't the case really. Had to go to hard mediums and they had to do another stop, which was a 2-start strategy, back to hards again. So it weren't really a good strategy for the ones starting on the hards, but the ones that started on the mediums had an absolute field day. Someone like, the top 3, for an example, of course, Leclerc winning the race. The top 3 that started in qualifying is the same top 3 that started in the race. And this is another reason why I will get rid of Monaco. It's just another reason why, because I know it's an iconic track. There's no doubt it's an iconic track. At the end of the day, if you're either going to not make it wider or even make the car smaller, there's no point having the track there. Because even though when, say, the Ayrton Senna Day, for example, they still had crashing, it was still tight. So that Monaco track has always been a tight track. So it's either make it wider or try just the cars where that it can actually get around the track and have an actually overtaking space. Because the track is dangerous, for an example, man. The track is dangerous. Perez in the first lap, he could not get anywhere. And I think...
who else was coming out? Was it Magnussen and Ocon as well, isn't it?
And then Magnussen and Hulkenberg. I think Hulkenberg.
No, Hulkenberg did he take out Hulkenberg? Did he?
No, Magnussen, both of them, because
So basically, the 2 hard cars. It says basically, I got the thingy because the red flags were thrown before the first lap of the iconic event at Monaco, which we both know, and he says it was a huge collision between Sergio Perez and with Red Bull and 2 hard cars, Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hulkenberg, putting all 3 out of the running. So who we know we had that big collision at the beginning. Who was to blame in your opinion? Was it Magnussen or was it Hulkenberg?
I think it was Magnussen. He's got.
I thought it was as well.
He went for a gap that weren't there because even though Perez saw him in his mirrors, I think Perez took the line because the line was that was his line. He was ahead. He took the line and that was Perez's line all day. But what Magnussen decided to do is to stay there and take him out, and he didn't get no penalty for it. I'm really, really surprised. Put it down.
I know. He didn't get a penalty.
I'm really, really surprised that. I think Hulkenberg tried to avoid it. He couldn't avoid it because the track is too tight. That's something like Silverstone. He would have easily avoided it. Easily. But you got Monaco. If someone crashes, it's like a domino effect. Someone else crashes, crash, everyone behind them. Unless you completely stop your car, like Guan Yu Zhou did at the start of the race. He completely stopped his car and then went through the incident, which is the most cleverest move out of the book. But it got to be Magnussen's fault. You know, he went for a gap that weren't there. It's just basics, really.
What do you think? Yeah, of course, yeah.
He saw a line, and you know, it was his line. He went for it.
I know. But like, I think if it was me in Monaco, all right, if you see a halfway gap, you go for it. But sometimes, look, it's your teammate. You don't want to take out your teammate. You know what Magnussen like? Magnussen just doesn't care. The thing about it, he's on a warning as well. If he gets another warning, he's gone. He's gone. He'll be banned for a race. And I'm surprised he didn't get that penalty. I agree with you. I believe it was Magnussen what kind of caused it. If you're going to put the blame on somebody, I would have put the blame on Magnussen, but Magnussen didn't get no penalty, which I was shocked. It kind of swept under the carpet. But he's what we know what Magnussen's like. He's going to go for everything. He's a bit like Max Verstappen, isn't he? He's going to go for anything, and he's not going to care. I think he's slightly more cleaner than Max Verstappen because I think Max Verstappen has shown in the 2021 season how dirty he is. He's fine now because he's out in front for now. But yeah, it is what it is. Look, we know if it's other drivers, they would have got it. So what do you think of Sainz? I think the best thing that happened to Sainz is when he went off into that runoff area because he kind of avoided a bit of collision as well. I know it was a bit further on in the race, but when he went onto that, when he went onto the runoff area, I think it was better for him, in my opinion, because he ended up getting third in the race.
Yeah, but it's a clever move. I think he had a brake failure. I think somehow his brake got. I don't think his brakes got hot, but he had some sort of brake failure in his brake, so he had to go for the one-off area. But then I don't think they completed a full lap, and I don't think they did the first sector. So I think that's why I think that's reinstated some position. I don't know, but Sainz did the cleverest move, man. You know, got third in the end, got the points. Of course, Leclerc getting first as well. I think Sainz. I think started on the mediums as well, went to the hard, so all the way to the end. Some people had to do a two-start strategy. So Sainz was already in the driving seat, really, getting that podium. So, yeah, Sainz, cleverest move, went for the runoff area and then claimed himself a podium, which you can't really complain about in this track. If you get a podium at this track, it's a bonus.
Yeah.
You know, because, like, qualifying is so vital, man. It's so vital for this track because look at Leclerc, qualify first. Finish first. Always go back on a Daniel Ricciardo incident with Red Bull. Had an engine problem, stuck his car in the middle, and he went on in the race with an engine penalty. You all know for somewhere like Silverstone or Hungary or Spa, for an example, if you have an engine problem there, you're not getting anywhere. You drop the position. So I'm just glad that there's a new winner. There's no Red Bull anymore. There's Red Bull. He's starting to slowly
catch up.
It's slowly decline the Red Bull, and it's starting to go to equal again. Like McLaren's starting to get up there, Ferrari's starting to be equal to Red Bull now. I think Ferrari's better than Red Bull, in my opinion. I think McLaren's better than Red Bull, but we've got to see in the upcoming races how the cars are.
The problem Red Bull's having is they're having problems setting up the car now. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they've done to the car. I know they changed something from last year. The copied Mercedes, which was some concept of what they've done last year, which I thought was silly because I think the car last year was fine. It was probably one of the best cars ever. And why change it if it's not broken? But that's Formula One. You want to try and evolve a little bit. But I think they're having problems setting up the car with the balance issues. I heard Crofty and that was talking about it to one of the Red Bull dudes. It's something to do with the balancing issues with the car, I think. Look, that's Formula One for you. Look, you get a team what comes out first to dominate first couple of years of the regulations, and the other teams start to catch up. And we're starting to see that now. And I believe it's. I said before, and when we done the review straight after the live review, I think it's going to be a 3-horse race, maybe a 4-horse race. I think it's between Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Sainz. Science, he's got something to prove as well because he's leaving Ferrari. So all bets are off. He's not holding back for no one. And that could make him dangerous in a good way, to Charles Leclerc's fight for the world title. So I think it's Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, and Lando Norris. I reckon that's 4. I think there's a 4-way race between them teams. If Mercedes can try and get their stuff together. So I've just watched the press conference of the Canadian Grand Prix. Remember, Canadian Grand Prix tomorrow, practice 1. Check out the channel. He was talking about that the upgrades have got coming now. They're both going to have the new upgrades. Remember when Lewis was stating that his upgrades didn't come to the car, and he kind of magnified that in an interview as well with Natalie Pinkman. He was saying, "Look, I ain't got my upgrades. I think Russell's going to beat me in every qualifying this season because I ain't got my upgrades." But he stated today in the press conference that him and Russell are both having the upgrades. So that's going to be good news for Mercedes going forward. So, yeah, there's not much really to talk about because it's Monaco Grand Prix. We know there's only one strategy in Monaco Grand Prix. There's only one strategy: get pole, you win it, basically, and hopefully you have a good pit strategy as well. So it's pole and good pit strategy. You get them two right, you win the race. Very simple. You're not overtaking, not with these big machines. Not going to happen. But before we go, if you've got nothing else to say, Toto, we are. I was talking about the new cars. I'm not sure I can get it up on here. The new
2027 cars.
2026.
2026.
Yeah.
I saw the concept on
it looks good, doesn't it?
I saw it on TikTok. The new concept from Formula One. The cars, I think that I like the design. I like the design of the cars. I'm not sure if it's going to be smaller or bigger. I don't know, but I like the design. I like the shape.
So there it is. There you go. Hamilton is unconvinced by the new rules of 2026 because basically the car's going to be 2026. This is the kicker. It's going to be half combustion engine. It's going to be half combustion, which is like the fuel that they use now and all the engine you use now, and half is going to be electric. That's what it's going to be. It's going to half and half. And they said this car that they're coming out in 2026, the fuel that they use in the new cars is the same fuel that you can use in normal road cars. That's the first time that's ever happened, really. So the cars so if you when you go to a petrol station, use diesel, use unleaded, whatever, that petrol can work in this F1 car what's coming out in 2026. And they're going to be a lot faster as well, which is very good news. It's going to be a lot faster. I think they're going to be 6 centimeters more narrow, and a couple of centimeters less in length. So that's going to be good for places like when they go to Monaco and we go to them slow speed corners when they got them tight little gaps. So like when we go to Singapore, a smaller car is always better for the new regulation. So it's great news for Formula One, really. So it says on here, let me just bring this back, Lewis Hamilton. It states, Lewis Hamilton has questioned whether Formula One's new rules are the right direction, but said that the new engines are a bold step. It is because it's half electric and a half combustion engine. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic, as we say. The governing body of the FIA has revealed plans for the cars to be smaller, nimbler, and more environmentally friendly from 2026. Cars will be 30 kilograms lighter, 10 centimeters more narrow, and have engines with a near 50-50 split between electric and internal combustion power, which I've just told you here, combustion power, as a fully sustainable fuels. Hamilton, who was previously called for cars to be made lighter, said it's only 30 grams, so it's going to be the right direction, but they're still heavy. So basically what Lewis Hamilton's saying, that the cars are still heavy, but we're going in the right direction. He said it is an interesting dynamic, really, when you look at it regarding the fuel. So you're going to have 50-50 in the fuel. So, but the good thing is that the cars are going to be 10 centimeters more narrow, which is absolutely amazing. This is what we want to. We're eventually, slowly but surely, we want to go back to the old cars when the cars were a lot smaller, because that's the problem with certain tracks with these cars. They're so big, they're very hard to overtake. And I think that's the way. They can't just suddenly make a car really small now. They've got to gradually go there, gradually. So if we're doing it now, every regulation, every couple of years, they'll go smaller and smaller, and the way we want it. But I think we're going in the right direction. What's your opinion on it, Toto, before we head off?
No, I think the 2026 regulations. I think I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to the new 2026 regulations. I just want to see more teams in it. I want to see Mercedes back in it. Of course, I think they will probably benefit more of the new regulation because, at the moment they're not adapting to the new, concept they're having now, and of course the new regulations. So it's better off that a new regulations can happen. But yeah, the car's going to be look like more smaller because it's going to be more narrower, 30, 50 meters, more narrower. So, and of course, they're going to think about fueling as well. They're going to think about
So it's going to be kind of a 50-50 split. So it's going to be 50. It's going to be 50 electric and 50% combustion.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Don't you think that's an interesting dynamic?
I think it's going to be hybrid. It's going to be hybrid because half fuel and half electric.
It's kind of a hybrid. They're a bit like hybrid now, but this is going to be more like the fuel is going to be more sustainable.
I'm just glad that they haven't went full electric because I think that will just.
That's the what. If they do that, then it's over.
I don't think they're going to do that.
Then it becomes Formula E. Then it might as well just go and watch Formula E.
Look, there's no point yet of having a full electric Formula One car, like you said. That's what Formula E's for, a full electric car. That's what. If you want to go watch Formula E, if you want to go watch a full electric car, go watch Formula E. Formula One, I'm glad that they still keep some sort of engine sound. I don't want that engine sound. I know.
Well, the engine sound. I don't think the engine sound is going to be as louder because it's going to be half electric now. Now it's full combustion engine. Now it is. But when the new regulations come in, it's going to be half combustion engine and half electric. So it's going to be a bit of both. So I don't think this sound, if they can get the sound as louder, I'm all for it. But I don't think the sound is going to be as loud as it is now. So we're going to see what happens. We know how these engineers are. You know how clever they are. But what's interesting to me, right, what Lewis Hamilton said, he said, I've spoken to some drivers who have driven the simulator with these cars, and some of them have said that it's pretty slow. So that's something we're going to look at as well in the future. Is it going to be a slower car? The same they want to get the cars faster. But you know how these engineers are. There's ways of working that out. They can make it slightly lighter. They can take a bit of fuel out. You know how when it comes to fuel runs, when they go on different practices, we know how that goes. So there's always ways how these clever guys can make the car faster. But look, this is the blueprint. This is what we're looking at the moment. Nothing's been confirmed. All the teams have to come together and agree on this. So we don't know what's going on at the moment. So, but this is the blueprint. This is the way the regulations are going to change for 2026. And I'm looking forward to it. And I'm just so glad that we're going to get out of this stupid ground effect because it's the worst ever regulations ever. And nobody could ever disagree with me on that one. Nobody. So, Toto, you got anything to say before we knock off? Because we're going to go on 18 minutes.
Yeah, I really know.
Okay, then. Big up to everybody. If you're listening to on the audio podcast, Spotify or iTunes, remember to recommend the audio podcast, whether you listen to on Spotify, iTunes, or Stitcher. I'm on all of them. Remember to come and recommend the video. But if you want to watch us on the video, come over to my channel. It's called Keep It Sports, and it's got me, Toto Hammer, and me, Solo P1, and Toto Hammer, my partner in crime as well for the channel. So if you want to also like stuff like esports and stuff like that, you can go over to Toto Hammer's channel as well, because this is Toto Hammer's channel as well as mine, but he's also got his individual one to talk about stuff like podcast and go-karting and stuff like that, and FIFA games. So remember to go over to his channel for that. But before we go, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Recommend the video, like the video. See you later, Toto. Anything to say, Toto?
No, I just say go check out new content, more content on my channel. Yeah. Check out all the new streams that are coming up.
Yeah.
And of course, the new podcast, the Talk Up, is next week. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. You gotta get them on. You gotta get them on podcast. Remember the free. It's free.
Yeah, I'll get them on there. Just look out for that as well.
See you later, guys. Big up, everybody. Bye.